now live. Hello once again, beautiful people. My name is Nissy T and I am one of the ambassadors on Yoka, and we are back once again. So sorry that we had to come off, but for some reason it wasn't allowing us to come on with both Hillary and Mania. There we go. Okay, cool. I think we are good to go. All right, awesome. I think that we should be able to go live, which should be good. Let's have a look. Let's hope this works. Hey!
Hi.
Thank God. It finally
I made
worked.
it.
How are you, Mania?
I'm okay. I was like, the enemies are even in Instagram.
Listen, I am so sorry. I know I don't want you to think that, we planned it. We wanted to like sabotage you. I promise we didn't, okay? I don't know what was going on there. So sorry.
It's
but
cool.
I am Oh, good. It's so good to see you first and foremost. I know it's been
You
like
too.
forever. I haven't seen you in God knows how long. So it's good to see you.
It's been like 2 years.
At least a good 2 years.
Yeah.
But once again, just a massive welcome to every single one of you guys that are joining us. Like I said before, if you are not already, you haven't already done it, take a screenshot. Let people know that we are here and we're having a conversation. And if you are joining us for the very first time, welcome once again to Yoka, or the Yoka movement, where we are all about essentially bringing light, or shedding light, should I say, on sexual assault and sexual abuse within the Congolese community, especially within the diaspora. My name is Nissy T and I'm hosting you for today, and I am one of the ambassadors for Yoka and the incredible work that they are doing. And now we are joined by the incredible Mania, who I'm going to let do an introduction for himself. We just had a conversation with Hillary, who was great and amazing, and we were talking about the documentary. But Mania, we've got a limited amount of time, so let's dive straight into it. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you do, what you're involved in, and what your, the role that you're playing as a part of the Yoka movement.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nissy. Yes, my name is Mania Tambwe. I'm actually a minister, a pastor for a church called Glad Tidings, but I also have a company called Central Media, a company that produces content across the world. But yeah, we came across this project through Hillary. Hillary called me up and said, "Hi, do you know about Yoka?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I've seen it on social media and so forth." And she told me the project, and then she said, "Well, you know what? I would love to get involved." And then we made it happen. Yes.
I love that. It was just a case of, hey, listen, this is what's happening right now. I need you to get involved. And you were like, yes, yeah. I want to do it. Now, something that I do want to ask you, actually, before we start to dive a little bit more into the documentary, is that, of course, you are a man, okay? Yeah. And as a lot of conversations have been had, and anyway, when you look at statistics, for example, even here in the UK, you find that it tends to be women that experience sexual assault. Not that men don't. It 100% does apply to men also. But as a man, as a Congolese man, why did you find it important to be a part of, number one, what Yoka is doing, but also a part of the documentary that was sharing the story of a young woman in the community who experienced abuse at 3 different stages in her life? Why was that important to you?
I think that's a great question. Thank you for that. One, personally, for myself, I believe as a man, we should be able to protect our woman. That's the number one. A man should be a protector. So just by getting involved in the documentary, with the documentary, is kind of giving me a chance to share a story of women that are being abused. At the same time, we can have this conversation. How can we protect our women better? So it was so thrilling to see that the team of Yoka team, they were really passionate, really working hard to make sure that women are being heard, especially in the society where, especially from Congo, where women are being treated like nothing. If you look at the part of Congo, in the east of Congo, we know on TV or news, not even on news, we Congolese people already know what's happening there. And that's just crazier than what she was saying. Asha, the girl that was in the documentary, I believe as a man, it's important for us to protect our women, to make sure that our women are taken care of, especially not just women, even a man. I know guys that are being abused as well. But personally, for me, I think it's important for man to protect our women. Yeah.
I love that, and I love the fact that you know, take ownership in that, in the fact that, listen, you know, I'm a man, and I do believe, and I'm in the exact same mindset of men are protectors. They're amongst so many other things that they are as well. And like you said, rightfully so, men also experience abuse. And I want, you know, to make it very, very clear, because I you know, I don't want any, especially man, to feel like he can't share his story or be a part of what's happening as a part of Yoka either. Now, I did want to actually ask you about the documentary. So again, for anyone that maybe wasn't in the last live that we did, Yoka actually released a documentary just yesterday. If you have not watched it, I highly recommend you go and watch it. It is essentially called Ganga, a survivor story. You can type it into YouTube and it comes up straight away. And you know, it was all about a young woman by the name of Asha who came on and bravely shared her story between, you know, being abused both when she was living back home in Congo and then obviously coming to Europe and experiencing abuse in Europe as well. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, Mania, is as a producer, because I asked this to Hillary as well, but as one of the producers of this documentary, what were some of your expectations? You know, when you kind of went in and, like you said, Hillary called you and said, hey, I want you to jump on this project. What were you expecting when you first started? And did your expectations change when you finally got to a place where, you know, the documentary was done, it was out there, and then you saw the response from people?
Yes. Oh, thank you for that. I came in as a director because Hillary and Jesse, they are executive producers. So I came in as a director of this documentary. At the beginning, to be honest with you, I just wanted to learn. I wanted to learn. I was really laid back and then allowing the ladies and everybody else involved, and especially the story to tell itself. And especially when you're dealing with documentaries, you shouldn't be too quick to try to make things happen for the person. Otherwise, you're going to miss the story. And the person's going to feel pressure. The first person's going to feel like, okay, it's no longer my story. So as a director, the only thing I wanted to really do is get a story out of a person and then let me learn from it. I really learned a lot, especially when we had our first pre-production meeting. We just said to her, you know what, tell us your story. And while I was sitting there, I was just listening. And while she was talking, all these ideas came into my head. Wanted to, okay, we can do that, we can do this. And if you watch the documentary, you would see that at the beginning, we had to recreate her in Congo. Yes. And the only way we could have done that, I had to call my production team back in Congo to try to shoot something quickly because we didn't really have enough time. And the only thing I said to Hillary, I wished we had more stories to show what she was saying. So we didn't have much time. And to be honest, I've just learned a lot that, for example, that people do tend to keep things in. And like you mentioned, men do get abused as well, but they don't speak about it. Yeah. Like imagine girls speak about a lot of things and they're finding it hard to speak about this thing. Now imagine a man. It will be like a stone, a rock to bring it out of them. So I just learned that, you know what, there are so many people are going through a lot and there is no platform and there is no place for them to speak about it. So I just allowed myself to learn. Yes.
I love that so much. I love the fact that you were open to just be like, do you know what? I may not necessarily know, you know, about what this looks like or how this looks like. Maybe I've never had first-hand experience, but I'm willing to go in and to learn. And I think that's something that a lot of us, whether you be a man or a woman, can learn from what you've just said, to be open enough to learn and be a part of that process. Because I think we all have a lot of unlearning to do and new learning to do, especially when it comes to topics that have been so taboo in the community for so long. One of the things I did want to ask you actually was in relation to the way in which, you know, some other bits were pieced in. Now, obviously, you came in and you said that you were the director. I do apologize, not producing, but director. And of course, you would have had, you know, like you said, ideas came up, you had creative control. Why was it important for you to include some of those other bits, right? Because her story alone was quite powerful, but then you guys obviously also included moments where there were visuals and it was cutaways to, you know, obviously a recreation of those moments. You didn't go into too much detail, but you could basically tell what was happening. Why was that important to merge that into her telling her story as well?
I believe when you see a thing, when you visually see it, you have more impact to what the person is saying. So we wanted to have that impact. And personally, I wanted to have more impact, but because, like I said, we didn't have much time with the campaign to actually make that happen. But I believe making sure you get a lot of cutaways, a lot of recreation, and when somebody's listening to this story, they can actually see themselves in that space, in that moment. So when somebody's talking about it, they don't feel like it's a distant thing. So sometimes we watch, they say, oh, that's really happened to her. But as soon as you see like a recreation, you feel like, oh, okay, I see myself there now. So I'm able to relate more and it's more impacting. So yeah, that's what I really wanted to do. And I believe it came out really, really good. And I think if we're to do another one, we're really gonna go in further and trying to do more of that. Yeah.
I would love for you guys to do, you know, to do something else. I feel like you guys literally, like, you touched the like it was like the iceberg. It was just the tip of the iceberg, and I feel like there's so much more that people, especially having seen Asha's story now, I believe that there are going to be so many more Congolese girls, women, even men, who will be open enough to now say, do you know what, if she can share her story and do it so powerfully and still exist and live and can, you know, live her life and have children and whatnot, why not myself also, you know? So I definitely see them, and I can see Jessie in the comments saying, we sure will. She's saying, we sure will. So we're looking forward to it, Jessie. We're definitely looking forward to it. You know, Mania, one of the things that I did want to ask you was in relation to something that Hillary actually said. So when I was talking to Hillary earlier on, she was basically talking about how they had to prepare because they were already in the mindset that they might get some backlash, which sounds crazy, but that's the reality, right? When a topic has been so taboo in a community, you have to prepare yourself for some people to be like, how dare you talk about this? You're airing out our dirty laundry, etc., etc. Was there any point in the journey where you kind of was a bit apprehensive or reserved, where you kind of felt like, I'm really throwing myself in the deep end here? Should I really be doing this?
To be honest, I was actually, I'm a man of faith. So I was like, no, we have to do it. We have to do it properly. I'm not even worried about what. One thing I said to Hillary, I said that Asha, she's gonna be a hero, and heroes can't remain hidden. If you want, so I totally believe if you want to make a difference, it takes courage, it takes sacrifice. So I was totally into, okay, let's just do it, let's go for it, let's make sure it's done right, let's just do it. So yeah, I wasn't really worried about backlash because I know.
Oh, Mania, for some. Oh, there we go.
So a lot of things.
Sorry, can you just repeat that last bit? Sorry, you cut. Was someone trying to call you? No worries. Just that last little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that in our community, the world anyway, people are always trying to bring people down, and people are always trying to find a way to be negative about things. But especially this thing is so important not to be scared, because there are so many people behind this story. There are so many young people, they're probably going through it right now. There are so many people who are not able to tell their stories, not just in Africa, but here in Europe as well. So it was so important to just have that faith. Let's do it. Let's just have faith. Wherever happens. If we're gonna have backlash, fine. What's gonna happen? Nothing much is gonna happen. So yeah, we went for it. Yeah, it was great. And one thing I'm gonna say, though, I'm gonna have this in. One thing that moved me a lot and really changed my heart is that how people got involved in supporting the campaign. Because what happened was, okay, this was the campaign, and then they came to me and I said, yeah, we can make it happen, but we need to have a budget. So they was like, okay, we don't have a budget. And you know what? They went out and they asked people. and people support it, it simply means that people want to see change. It simply means people want to support this movement. It simply means that there is a need for change. People are suffering. And that's what I love about it, because a lot of people are supporting it. And I was really touched by that to see, because when he told me that, yeah, you know what, we've managed to raise the money, I was like, wow, okay, fantastic. Thank God. And it wasn't because of the money, it was because of, I was surprised, because most of the time in our community, when they see something it's like that, most of us, I don't know about the generation now, I know the generation now are more open, the generation more are more supportive, but the generation before, they would just say, they will just leave you there hanging. We like to do that. We like to leave people hanging. But I am trusting that this generation is bringing new energy, is bringing new faith, we're bringing new support. And most importantly, we are united in it. Nobody's trying to claim anything for themselves. We are united, and we are standing against women abuse. Yes. So I love it. Thank you.
I love that. And I love, you know, what you've basically said in terms of how things are changing. They might be slow. You know, we might want it to be a lot faster than it is now, but things are moving and they're changing in a better direction. You know, we're no longer in a place where, I guess, especially this new, like a younger generation, are no longer in a place where we just sit and accept. And we just, again, I said this, you know, with Hillary earlier, I said, you know, Ganga motema, or just, you know, keep your mouth shut, don't say anything. Even if you're going through the most horrible situation, just, you know, keep it shut. I do love that that's exactly what is happening. Now, the final question that I wanted to ask you just before we wrap up for this evening was in terms of, why do you believe, or do you think that people should be supporting Yoka and what is happening? Because people might turn around and say there are so many things happening in Congo right now, especially, or amongst the Congolese community, you know, between, you kind of touched on it sort of earlier, you know, between what's happening in northern parts of Congo of, you know, war and violence and rape. You know, there's things happening where people are living in poverty, so many different things. Some people even in Congo right now that are thinking about, listen, I don't have time to think about that. I'm just trying to figure out what my kids are going to eat tomorrow. But why do you believe that this, you know, where it comes to sexual assault and sexual abuse and what Yoka is putting at the forefront is important, and, you know, the reason why people should get behind this movement?
Thank you for that question, Nissy. I believe we need healing, because where there is healing, there is an opportunity to heal others.
Wow.
I also believe that people back home needs people who are healed, not people who are already traumatized, trying to heal people that are not healed.
Wow.
So there's a lot of people that need healing, and once we have that healing, we are able to move forward. And trauma, one thing I know about trauma can kill you inside, and there's a lot of people that have been traumatized. There's a lot of people are not free to live their life, because there is this burden in their mind or in their body or in their soul that they're not able to feel happy. They can get married, they can do all sorts of things, they can get cars, they can get mortgages, they can get all of this, but there is this trauma carrying around, and they're not able to let it go. So when we have a movement like Yoka, is simply saying, hear my voice. And when you are able to have a voice and everybody else can hear your voice, you're able to heal. And that's what I loved about what Asha said at the end. She said that, oh, you know what, I feel better now, because that whole process to me was like, it was a healing process for her. She didn't know what to expect, because you guys didn't really see how much cut we had to cut. We had to cut and then say, okay, wipe your tears. Okay. Then they had to give our advice and so forth. So what I saw was a person that had an opportunity to have a voice. And then there was a team of people that really wanted our voice to be heard. And most of the time when you have all the other platforms, because I've been in TV for over 20 years now, when you have all these other platforms, they just want your story, but they don't want to know you. They just want your story, but they don't want your healing. So it's so important that Yoka is there. They are more concerned about your healing. There were people that were dealing with emotional issues. There were people who were dealing with, are we doing this right? Are we doing by the law? Are she saying the right things? You know, so they were really wanted her. Yoka really wants people to come out and speak. And I love the name Yoka. So yeah, that's why I would say so. Support Yoka. Yoka is there for helping people, to be heard, helping people to be feel free, to be set free, helping people to tell other people that it is possible to live your life. It is possible to live your life differently. Yeah.
I love that. And I think that is honestly the most perfect place to end. I especially love what you spoke about in terms of giving people the opportunity to heal, and how sometimes we think that, you know, we're going to do better as a nation, as a people, as a community, if we just, I don't know, whatever ideas come up, but a lot of it is really down to healing. And someone even wrote, I think it was Jesse, said, broken people, hurt people. And if we don't learn to heal first, we will continue the same toxic, dangerous cycles that have been, in our communities for a very, very long time. But listen, Mania, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure speaking to you. You guys did an amazing job with the documentary. Once again, guys, please make sure you check out that documentary. It is now on YouTube. If you type in Ganga, a survivor story on YouTube, it will come up straight away. Please do make sure you are also following Yoka movement as well. They are that bright, big yellow. You see the bright, big yellow with the purple? That's how you know, okay, is Yoka. They are doing some incredible work. Support them, get behind them, share their stuff, share the work that they are doing as well, and make sure you stay in tune with what's happening. Whether you be Congolese or not, this is about all of us. If you just want to see people heal and doing better, this is definitely for you. But thank you so much again, Mania.
Thank you, Nissy. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Team Yoka. We love you and appreciate you. Thank you. 110%.
We love you, Team Yoka. Well done again, Jesse, for doing this, for putting this together, and for making sure that this is something that is in the forefront of our community. But guys, take care. Make sure you are there to know every single thing that is happening, and make sure you subscribe as well to that YouTube channel too, because there's going to be loads more coming up, as has been promised by Jesse already in the chat as well. So yeah, take care, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.